Joining us now to talk about the hearing, California Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. Clearly a very emotional hearing. Those of us who are watching it at home experienced it in one way. What was it like for you to be in the room?
Well, it was really very powerful, very moving. In particular, when the hearing started and the chairman displayed a couple-minute video of what took place, just watching the officers' reaction to seeing the horrors of that day again, the tears in their eyes and the trauma that they experienced, you had to be made of stone not to be moved. And it was really timely and important because there's an effort to rewrite that day as if it was some normal tourist event at the Capitol when it was a bloody attack on our democracy.
A lot of different aspects about what happened there on that day. What is your goal for this hearing? What are you trying to find out, and where will this investigation lead?
Well, through our hearings and our request for documents, other information, we want to compile a report about how that tragedy came about, what can be done to prevent it in the future, why there wasn't better intelligence about the threat to the Capitol and to the seat of our government, why there weren't reinforcements sent in, what role the White House played, what they may have known before the bloody events of that day about the white nationalist groups that were assembling and preparing and going in there with body armor and other military gear ready to do combat. So we have a lot of questions, and we're determined to get answers and provide them to the American people.
How likely is it that your investigation is going to point toward any of your fellow members of Congress, perhaps the former president, and is it within your planning at this point to issue subpoenas for those people?
We will definitely be issuing subpoenas to compel anyone who has relevant evidence that's not willing to cooperate voluntarily. And in terms of where the evidence will lead, I don't want to prejudge it. Certainly I think it's very clear that in terms of the motivation, the big lie that was pushed out about our election, that so many of those insurrectionists believed that somehow the election had been stolen from him. We know clearly who was behind that big lie. But in terms of who was financing this, who was organizing it, what plans in advance there were to do violence, those questions we don't know the answers to, and we'll follow the evidence to whomever it may lead.
Minority Leader McCarthy has talked about this as being political in nature and meant to damage Republicans and the former president. What's your response to that?
Well, look, we proposed a commission made up of 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, or people appointed by the Democrats and Republicans in equal number, experts, and McCarthy rejected it. And why? Because Donald Trump rejected it. Neither of them want an inquiry into the truth. Both of them feel threatened by what it will find. And so we were forced to go down a different route and form a select committee. So Kevin McCarthy is talking out of both sides of his mouth. Didn't want one that was evenly balanced, doesn't want this one either. The reality is he doesn't want accountability because he thinks it will reflect poorly on him, the former president, and his party.
All right. Congressman Adam Schiff, the hearings will continue, and we look forward to speaking with you about it again. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.